It's 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. This morning, you had a plan. You were going to cook, eat clean, save money, stick to the budget, but now you're staring at a delivery confirmation email $48 later and you barely remember placing the order. So what happened? Here's what most financial gurus don't say out loud. Willpower isn't unlimited. It's not some endless tank you can tap into whenever you feel like it. It runs out. Every decision you make during the day drains it. What to wear, what to reply, what to prioritize, what to ignore. By the time evening shows up, your brain is exhausted. And that's exactly when you expect yourself to make a smart financial decision. That's why most people fail at investing. They treat it like a monthly choice, something they'll decide to do when the time feels right. But by the time payday hits, their willpower is already spent. There's a workaround. It's called the Anti-Willpower Strategy. The wealthiest people you know aren't superhuman. They're not more disciplined. They don't wake up every day vibrating with financial motivation. They just built better systems that move money before they can touch it, before they can think about it, before willpower even gets a vote. Welcome to Finance Focus, where we run the numbers so you don't accidentally sign up for 30 years of regret. Let's talk about the biggest lie we tell ourselves. Next month I'll invest. While you're deciding, someone else's money already moved. It transferred at 2 a.m. on payday. No emotion, no debate, no internal negotiation. And then there's lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of compounding. Here's how it sneaks in. Your income goes up. Your spending quietly follows. New salary, new apartment, promotion, new car. Bonus, suddenly you deserve that weekend getaway. Let me tell you about Sarah and Jess. Both of them got a $15,000 raise this year. Sarah automated $1,250 of that raise straight into index funds. She stayed in her one bedroom. She's still driving her 2019 Honda. From the outside, nothing looks different. Jess upgraded everything. Better apartment, leased a BMW. I earned this, she tells herself. I work hard. Fast forward 10 years, Sarah's automated $1,250 has grown into $263,000 at an average 8% return. And she barely had to think about it. Jess, same income, same savings rate on paper, but her net worth hasn't meaningfully changed. Different decisions, different aesthetics, very different outcomes. Now, here's the math that changes everything. For every $100 you cut from your monthly expenses, you need roughly $30,000 less in your portfolio to reach financial independence. Let that sink in. Defense isn't about deprivation. It's about discipline. It's keeping your lifestyle steady while your income grows. That gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's where freedom lives. But defense alone is slow. On a median salary, pure saving can take decades, 40 years in some cases. And you probably don't want to wait 40 years to feel free. That's where offense comes in. Offense is about expanding the gap. It's building higher income skills, becoming valuable enough that companies compete for you, starting something on the side. Maybe it's a YouTube channel breaking down complex ideas. Maybe it's consulting. Maybe it's turning a hobby into income. Every raise, every bonus, every side hustle dollar, think of it as a new employee joining your team. This employee never sleeps, never complains, never asks for a promotion. And the best part, it recruits more employees. Making money is the only team that grows itself. Now let's talk about the metric that actually matters. Your passive FI ratio. Take your monthly passive income, dividends, interest, rent, and divide it by your monthly expenses. If it covers 25% of your expenses, you've built a safety net. Maybe your investments cover groceries or rent. Suddenly you negotiate differently at work. You take smarter risks. At 50%, you enter the optionality phase. Half your life is funded by assets. You could work part-time, switch careers, take a pay cut for something meaningful. At 100%, you hit the crossover point. Your money officially earns more than your labor. You might still work, but now it's a choice. And here's what nobody tells you. The real shift isn't financial. It's psychological. There was an employee who reached a 70% FI ratio. She walked into her toxic boss's office and simply said no. Not, let me think about it. Not, maybe next quarter. Just no. Because she could. That ratio isn't just a number. It's the distance between desperation and choice. So how do you build this? Think in layers. Layer 1 is growth. Low-cost index funds compounding at 7 to 10% annually. Their job isn't to pay you today. It's to outpace inflation and quietly build the base. For aggressive FI seekers, this might be around 60% of your portfolio. Layer 2 is income. Assets that generate cash flow. REITs, dividend stocks producing 3 to 5%. This is your fuel, about 25%. Layer 3 is stability. Cash buffers, bonds, 6 to 12 months of expenses. These are your breaks. They protect you from being forced to sell during a crash, around 15%. And here's a critical rule. Reinvest 10 to 20% of your passive income, always. If your income isn't growing, inflation is eating it alive. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Wealth building isn't a math problem. It's a brain problem. The math is simple. Save consistently. Invest in assets that compound. Give it time. The hard part is behaving long enough for the math to work. So here's my challenge to you. Run a 12-month experiment, automate one contribution. Just one. Maybe $200 per paycheck. Set it up so it happens without you. And freeze one expense. Not cut. Freeze. Don't upgrade your apartment when you get that raise. Don't trade in your car this year. Just hold the line 12 months. That's it. The question isn't whether this works. We have over a century of data proving it does. The real question is whether you can execute it, whether you can build systems that don't depend on motivation, whether you can stay boring long enough to become free. Financial independence isn't about having more money. It's about needing less from the world. It's sovereignty. It's waking up and asking, what do I want to do today instead of what do I have to do? Start today. Automate one thing. Freeze one thing. And let the math finally start working for you. If this mindset shifted something for you, subscribe to Finance Focus and join me on this journey, because freedom isn't flashy, it's quiet, and it's built one automated decision at a time.